This is our daughter's bedroom, and it received its first makeover when she was 8 years old. But now that she's nearly 14, we've decided it's time for an age-appropriate update to her bedroom. And as usual, we'll be doing all of the work ourselves to try and save as much money as possible and to get exactly what we want out of the design.
Her room's gonna be so cute.
So join us for the ride as we attempt to give this bedroom a complete facelift and make it a space that's fit for a princess.
Feels like summer.
Feels like summer.
We're gonna need to take some of our seats out.
You know, this is a little embarrassing, but kids, come on guys, we gotta work on this. Dude, what? That's a pancake plate. They got a job to do when they get home from school.
This is embarrassing. I feel like we should not film this.
Well, we are. Alright, where are we going today, Brain?
Well, not our normal place. I feel like it sounds weird to say, but we're going to Home Depot.
What? I mean, this feels a little off. I don't know, like, are we cheating on Lowe's right now? Is this legal? I mean, what is the real reason that we go to Lowe's over Home Depot? Is it deep or what is it?
So, number one, it's just closer to our house. And number two, I feel like I like to stick with one store where I know my way around, because otherwise it just gets confusing. I'm like, where is the hardware in this store? I don't remember. It's in different places if you go back and forth too much. Number three, I like blue more than orange.
All very deep reasons.
We're getting real deep.
That we are highly committed to Lowe's as opposed to Home Depot.
Also, we don't have a song for Home Depot. Like, we don't have a Home Depot trip song. It just doesn't have the same ring to it.
Yeah, we do. Play that Home Depot song. Home Depot. Home Depot.
Every single day it's a
Home Depot. Oh, baby doll, sometimes I think we are a mess.
For this project, we decided to use Shiplap wall panels, which meant that first we needed to grab a lumber cart.
So it turns out they had no lumber carts inside, so Andrea sent me on a mission to get her one. There she is. You're gonna live with me now, chunk. After finding a cart, now I just had to find my wife. Darling! Nope. But when I found her, she wasn't in the best mood. There she is.
This is not making me like Home Depot more. I cannot find an employee. 50 panels in stock, but I think I see them up high. They're not where they go. He's finishing getting an order for somebody else, and then he's gonna come back here. While we waited, I looked around at some trim options that I would need for later in the project.
And after review, the guys realized that the stock of remaining panels was on the very top of a nearby shelf and would require a forklift.
After they pulled all of the panels down, we moved them over to the saw to have them ripped down in store. Whenever I don't need my cuts to be super precise, I like to have them rip down the boards in store because it saves me a ton of time and makes it a lot easier to fit everything into the minivan.
Once everything was cut and we had checked out, we loaded everything into the back of our minivan truck. Alright, so we were in there for 1 hour, but it's not bad. It's not bad.
It's not too bad. That was a lot of cuts. And I am so shocked at how clean it made those cuts. I thought for sure it was going to chip them. So I don't know if it's just, like the, whatever that is, the MDF type board, or maybe they have a fresh blade on there. Either way, I'm glad. I feel like those are cleaner cuts than I probably would have done at home even. So, woohoo!
Once we got home, it was time to unload everything.
After we got everything unloaded, I went ahead and took part of the paneling upstairs to see it in the space. So this is our daughter's space, and as you can tell, we have already done quite a bit in here. So it is already a great space, but she's 13 now, she's gonna be 14 this summer, and I just want to make it feel a little bit more like her and a little bit more just sophisticated and cozy, and again, like really just fit her personality. Alright, so I brought some of my materials up because I just want to kind of see it in the space and make sure I like everything I got before I actually start making cuts and nailing things to the wall.
We already spent the money. I think it's a little too late for this kind of decisions.
Well, no, I'm going to do the shiplap stuff, but I mean like the trim that I got to go on top of it. I just kind of want to see it and make sure I like it. I don't know. I went ahead and removed the rug because soon we'll be moving all the furniture to the middle of the room, and that will make everything a lot easier to move. I like it. I think it looks good.
This is the classic Dean Hold, Andrea Look scenario, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Look at this wallpaper.
It's lovely.
Little sneak peek. I like it. It feels like elegant. It's not too little kiddish. She wanted wallpaper and I loved the idea. Alright, before I can start actually attaching things to the wall or, well, I mean really even measuring and making cuts, I need to go ahead and get everything out of the way. So I need to take these shelves down, the artwork, the curtains, and then just kind of pull the furniture away from the wall so we can get ready.
I don't know about that. Babe.
How did this chair get so wobbly? Riley, what have you been doing with this chair? Oh, that's heavy. After I'd removed the shelves and artwork from the walls, I started working on moving the furniture to the middle of the room, and this dresser proved a little bit tricky with a 20-gallon fish tank on top of it. This is a little scary with the fish tank on there, but... We want to take a quick pause and say thank you to Eufy for sponsoring today's video. We just installed the Eufy Cam 3 in our house, and I love that it is solar powered, so not only is it eco-friendly, but I don't have to try and find a place to plug it in or tie it into the electrical at our house. Installation was quite easy. They provided everything you need for the install, and it probably only took me about 5 to 10 minutes. It has a 365-day battery life plus a solar panel like I mentioned, so we can easily safeguard our house day and night. Eufy's Solar Plus technology reaches 25% photovoltaic conversion efficiency, needing just 2,500 lux to charge, which is 75% less than the usual 10,000 lux. Even with partial obstruction, it maintains 60% charging capacity, demonstrating its effectiveness in generating solar power even with 50% obstruction. This camera also has 4K ultra high definition, which makes it easy to capture even the smallest detail of anybody that enters your property, day or night. We set up one camera in our backyard and one in our front yard so we can see anytime someone approaches from the front or the back of our house. Plus, if you want to zoom in on something that's further away, you can get a closer look with an 8x zoom showing off 8 million pixels of clarity. With Bionic Mind AI, the Eufy Cam can learn to recognize your family members so you can know when there's a stranger at the door or when your family makes it home safely. The camera has 16 gigabytes of built-in storage, which saves about 3 months of videos, or you can keep years of videos with expandable storage. Also, since this is local security, there are no monthly fees or subscriptions. So if you're interested in checking out the Eufy Cam 3, be sure to check out the link in the description below. Alright, now that I have everything off the walls and the furniture moved away from the walls, next I need to go ahead and pull off the quarter rounds and the baseboard. And I will go ahead and mention that we are going to be replacing the flooring in here with whatever flooring we end up deciding to do downstairs too, just because I want it to be the same, and I think we're going to add the flooring onto the stairs, and it would be a little bit weird if it changed right at the top of the stairs. So all that to say, I don't need to keep my quarter rounds because the flooring can go up under the baseboards, but we're going to do different baseboards. So I'm pulling off quarter rounds baseboards and I don't need to keep any of them. So my new baseboards are going to be quite a bit taller than these, and I'm going to have the shiplap above that, so I'm not super worried about having a clean edge right here. If I was just popping these back on, you'd for sure want to go with a knife to cut that, but it doesn't honestly matter.
Hercules!
I don't know how to get this out of here.
Do you need some help?
No. Oh,
You know, it's legal to ask for help sometimes.
then you'd have to put the camera down and I have to wait. Next, I'm actually going to do things what is maybe a little bit differently, but I'm going to cut and install all of this board that's going to sit at the top of all of my shiplap. Partly because I don't know if all of my shiplap was cut perfectly exactly the same. It probably isn't. I'll just install this, that way it's gonna act as my guide. It'll just make it a lot faster once I start installing the shiplap because I'll just butt it right up to this. So, I'm gonna measure for all of this. I've got a piece of paper, I've kind of drawn out my walls. Just gonna go around and measure and hopefully make all of my cuts in one trip. Right, so I've got all of my measurements for that top board written down and I'm ready to go down and start making some cuts. Alright, so as I was pulling all of this out, I thought of a potential reason why it might be better to install the panels first. It may not really matter. I just think with cutting around the windows, for some reason, I don't know. I'm just gonna do the panels first. My brain's feeling a little bit fuzzy, but now I have my measurements all ready for that top board whenever I do get to that, and so I didn't waste my time. I'm gonna do something else.
Okay.
So we're gonna go back upstairs. I've got my stud finder ready, so I can go ahead and mark on the wall where my studs are, and I have one panel up there that I should be able to go ahead and attach to the walls, but then I can measure for my next one.
You know what? It's clear as mud. Why don't you just do it and we'll watch you.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and take all of the outlet covers off just to get that out of the way because I'll need to have those off to put the paneling on the walls. Okay, I've got my outlet covers off. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and go around with my stud finder and mark where all of my studs are, and then we'll start working on getting the panel ready to install. I went ahead and marked the studs around the entire room instead of going wall by wall and having to do that later. Alright, I just made a not very good discovery, and that is that he did not cut these down the middle. I'm not sure why, but like it's an 8-foot panel, and instead of cutting it right on the 4-foot mark, or even close to it, he cut it at like a 4-foot plus half an inch. And so one panel will be a whole inch longer than the other half. I knew they weren't going to be perfect, and it's fine because it's going to have them hidden like behind the baseboard at the bottom, you know, so that uneven edge doesn't matter. Except now that's a lot of an uneven edge, and that means I have to have it lower on the wall. And really, I wanted the top of my board to go even with this, just because visually that would look good. So a solution to that is to go and try and find a thicker board that will sit on top of it. I need to see if I can find one that, you know, is a couple inches taller, just to bring the height of it up a little bit more. We're not making very much progress. We need to go back to Lowe's.
Man, I was really kind of hoping that this would be the one day where we didn't have to do
A Lowe's trip, a Lowe's trip. Every single day it's a Lowe's trip.
At Lowe's, I started by grabbing some primed 1x2s.
Yeah, baby.
Next, I grabbed some different trim pieces that were wider than the original ones that I had picked out.
This is a post-wind hair for us both here. It's a little wild. You didn't even show me yours. Look, it's us in 30 years. And we're back once again. If you're interested in starting a YouTube channel, then be sure to sign up for my free newsletter where I share tips and advice on how to create a thriving YouTube channel. The newsletter is free. Just click the link in the description below and use my 8 years of YouTube experience to your advantage. And as we got back underway, Indecision struck once again.
So this is what happens when I have too much time to think. But in our trips to Lowe's and back, I've decided that I do actually want to cut all my top boards first, and then I'll cut the panels. I'm just going to blame it on having been sick. My brain feels a little bit slow. Oh no, I just thought of a potential problem though. That light switch looks like it's at a really annoying height. Come on. Might have to change things. I can't make it that short. That's like super short. All right, I'm gonna figure out the light switch in a little bit when I get to that wall. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and take my one board that I brought up down to my saw, and I'm gonna make hopefully all of my cuts at one time.
I like how you said the word hopefully.
Once I had all of my measurements, we went outside and set up my miter saw so I could start making cuts. Since I wrote down all of my measurements, I was able to make all of my cuts in one trip, and hopefully I won't need too many recuts. Once I finished all of my cuts, I was ready to bring them all inside and start installing them. Pictures. I have these all in order, so I'm just gonna set them around the room. Now I just need to mark where I want the top of my board to go, and then I can stick a nail there and level it, and we'll just kind of continue that all the way around the room. I used my level and brad nailer to attach the boards to the studs. And thankfully, I didn't make any mistakes with measuring and cutting, and so all of my pieces fit. Fits so perfectly, I don't even have to hold it. It's just...
Because you're so pro.
I know. For one of my pieces, I had to cut around the light switch, and so I marked it and then grabbed my jigsaw to make that cut. It already looks different. I know it sounds silly, but it looks pretty different just adding that little like trim piece. Alright, I finished attaching all of that top piece all the way around the room. Thankfully, all of my pieces fit. I have this one panel already up here, and so I'm going to mark where my outlet is first, and then I can cut it so I can install it. One of the more tedious parts of installing panels like this is simply measuring and then cutting around all of the light switches, outlets, and windows. Once I cut out for the outlet, I was ready to install my first panel. So I wanted to test out one panel without adding liquid nails to the back, and honestly it just feels sturdy enough that I don't know that I'm going to add it. So I'm going to see how my seams line up after I have my second one. But basically the only reason you would not want to add liquid nails is if in the future somebody ever wants to pull these off. If I don't have to and it doesn't like affect how stable it is, then I'm not going to use the liquid nails. All right, I grabbed a couple more panels. I'm going to go ahead and measure around the window because I'm going to need to cut, you know, that little cutout.
Is that your new work table?
Yeah. After I finished making my cut, I grabbed Dean's help to hold the panel while I nailed it to the wall.
That was a good one. What do you think?
Looks great.
Yeah, I like it.
Just got like 10 more panels to go.
Easy peasy.
After the first couple of panels, I followed the same basic process of measuring, cutting, and installing, but I didn't realize I was measuring and cutting the wrong panel this time. Cut the wrong half.
What?
I cut the wrong piece. I was supposed to cut this one. I'm just gonna redo it on the correct half this time, so. Thankfully, it was a relatively easy fix, and I was able to quickly make the right cut on the correct panel this time. That looks better. The wall's like not straight.
This old house.
one wall done. Look at that. After finishing up wall number 1, I grabbed Dean's help to carry the next couple of panels upstairs. Coach!
Like I gotta navigate a maze in here.
That's true, yeah. Had to call on Coach's help.
Anytime, ma'am.
You gotta like lift him at an angle. I was trying to tell you. You gotta like lift at an angle going up the stairs, yeah. That's the hard part.
And after getting the panels upstairs, Andrea had an unexpected little victory.
It is the perfect width. This is like, I love this. Since the panel width fit perfectly, the only cut I needed to make was for the outlet on this wall.
I'm back in the game. Give it the look. You always step back and give it the look. Okay, give us your thoughts over there. Penny for your thoughts.
Her room's gonna be so cute. And
somehow, we had more good news. What?
I don't think I have to cut the width of this one either. This never happens where it's like a piece is literally, like what are the chances of the wall being exactly 48 inches there? Like perfectly. I don't even have to trim any or add a little bit.
We're just having a day, aren't we?
This is an older house. It seems like none of the walls are perfectly straight. Nothing is straight. Which meant I needed to measure the width at the top and the bottom of the panel in case it wasn't the same. We need more panels now.
Why are you telling me that?
Because I'm tired. At this point, it was really starting to feel like we were in the home stretch. Alright, so I finished the paneling all the way around the room, and I'm going to go ahead and add some to the back wall of the bunk bed now.
And even though we were closing in on the finish line, this last wall wasn't going to make it easy on us.
You know, the only thing that's straight in this room is the one thing that I built. I was like, if this corner is not straight. Once I finished installing the last of the paneling, it was time to do a quick cleanup as there was quite a bit of dust on the floor from all of those cuts. The paneling in this room was a lot of hard work, but it has already completely changed the look of the space, and I cannot wait to see it all painted.
Well, hey, great job on this project, and it's so cool to see.
Can you talk faster? I'm sorry.
What I was gonna say is you made a lot of really good progress in our daughter's room this week, and it's already looking really good. And for some reason, you can't keep your composure
I don't know,
today.
I'm sorry. I'm just gonna leave it in there. I can't do it.
We're so professional, you know?
It was a good week. It was a good week. The room's looking good. I'm excited to paint.
Well, I think what I'm excited about is even without any paint, without any of the wallpaper, just the wood and the molding itself, it just looks so good. Like it already looks more sophisticated. You can already kind of see where it's going, and I like where it's going. You know what I mean?
It is kind of surprising how much that one thing has already changed the look of the room. So I'm like, paint is huge. And so I'm getting really excited to see that, because if the Shiplap stuff changed it that much, then paint will be exciting.
So stay tuned with us for next week, where we put some paint on these walls, and this room is on its way to looking really, really amazing. What are you doing? You think you're some sort of extreme sports girl or what?
It like hits the brake. What is happening?
I don't know what you're doing, but
I was
it's really weird.
kind of seeing if you noticed.
I did notice, and I thought this is pretty par for the course, but so are we gonna do the thing, or are you gonna
I hate
do
daylight savings. I'm so tired.
Where are we right now?
I don't know. It's
I
the
thought
problem is daylight savings.
I thought we were like filming a thing.
We are, but all I can think about is I'm so tired and I hate daylight savings. And how are we supposed to get on a better schedule when we're waking up like an hour before the sun comes up now? So I want to go to bed.
I just want to go to bed. Me too.
Go tuck me in.
Here we go.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. I shouldn't have said it.
Well, hey, amazing job on this room so far, and I think you need to find someone else to.
No, come back. Stop.
We're gonna sit here for 30 minutes and say a bunch of nothing because you're over here making jokes and faces and
What you say?
complaining about
Here we
daylight
go.
savings.
Here we go. Let's go. All right. I just talk. And then I was like, don't. And then you looked at me and I was like, don't look. I'm not gonna look at you or I'm gonna lose it. And then I was like, dang it, I'm gonna lose it anyway. Maybe I should eat a cookie or something to help. Like, maybe that would help me not laugh.
Yeah, sometimes when I get distracted, I like to eat a cookie, and that helps me really focus. You getting that kind of dreamy look in your eyes, like I'm kind of excited about this design.
Yeah, I'm also like, all right, can I just like snap my fingers and have this be done? I don't want to actually do it all. I just want to make it pretty.